How is the equipment in Battlefront 2? Is it as good as it was in the first game? Is it useless, or have they greatly improved it, and are the new pieces of equipment insane, or are the improvements justifiable enough for them to be in a sequel? Well guys, today let's find out. We are going to be ranking all the equipment in Battlefront 2 from worst to best. This pains me to say, but I have to put the Recon Droid as the worst piece of equipment in Battlefront 2. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments are going to say the blaster is much better in this game. You can actually get kills with it, and the self-destruct clears out hallways and big groups of guys. But here's the problem with this thing. They still get one shot in this game, plus the self-destruct is just so goddamn slow that when you use it, you'll probably end up losing the thing before it gets destroyed. And yes, the blaster is a good at getting kills, but why would you use that over the classes that have its regular weapons? They all have grenade launchers, which are some of the best weapons in the game. Our next piece of equipment has to be the time bombs, and yes, these are powerful when you attach them to vehicles, but there is one of the biggest problems with them is that all the classes that get them just do not benefit from getting these, aside from the pilots obviously. Maybe you can make an argument for the both in spot, having them because of the invisibility, but they have such a low amount of health that the chances you getting up to a vehicle placing it on there are so unlikely. But they do deal a ton of damage to vehicles and like pieces of equipment inside of the ship. Not equipment, I'm trying to say stuff inside of the ship. So it's like they're pretty good still at what they can do. Just trying to get them to actually be useful, it's tough, man. The Fuse Cutter is a massive downgrade in this game as compared to the first, as the biggest thing that it had in the first game being the repairing of vehicles when you're in them, is only available to the reward fusion cutter. So that's kind of disappointing. But it still has the thing where you can slice vehicles, which is pretty cool. You can repair vehicles, but honestly, the thing is, it's too slow to repair vehicles most of the time. The best thing it's used for is slicing vehicles and repairing turrets. Now, the Droideka Shield is technically a piece of equipment, and it's not as good as it was in the first game, as it drains a bit quicker than the first, and there are more options to get rid of it. But it is still fine. It is something that the Droidekas only have, and can be good for holding hallways or such. But unfortunately, the Droideka deploys so slowly that you may die before you even get to use the shield. The auto turret is a pretty good piece of equipment in Battlefront 2. They can be pretty annoying as their health is fairly high for what it is, but the real problem they have is that their damn hitbox is really small. Obviously, it's just a small little thing, but still, you can take care of them quickly with good aim and all that. And they're not the best at getting kills, but man, are they really annoying when someone puts them down and you're trying to shoot someone and that thing's also shooting at you. It can be a real pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie. So you know what, they're a pretty good piece of equipment, let's just be honest here. Now the mines are weird in this game. I feel like they're a downgrade because they deal more damage. You might be saying, well, how the fuck does that work? Okay, but the thing is that the damage radius, the big splash damage they have on them is so much bigger in this game. You'll end up getting yourself killed more often than not. I had that happen way too much in the first game in comparison, right? And they're still the best way of taking care of vehicles though. And if you just be careful, they'll be great. You can throw them into crowds of guys, and I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do, I'm not gonna lie. The thermal detonator. You are so much better than the first. They can stick to turrets for one, you can stick to vehicles for two. And they're actually useful on maps that have lots of vehicles instead of just throwing them and hoping and praying to God pretty much, right? You can take out turrets with almost every class in the game, which is great. You're an assault class, you're not gonna waste your rocket to do that. They're even great for close quarter maps and taking out groups of guys when they're hoarding together, just being an idiot, throwing them towards Droideka Shields, whatever you want to do with them. They're great, taking out heroes even, They're great, such an improvement over the first game. I love them in this one. Now, the wrist rockets, always a good piece of equipment. They're definitely better than the thermal detonators. I love that, you can use them to attach vehicles, you can use them from a distance. They're pretty much the same as they were in the first game, let's be quite honest here, but you know what, they're in the second game here, and they're still just as good as they were there. They're awesome, man. They're just like, man, it's so good, and me when they use them on the, and the fact that Boba and Jango have them is pretty cool. I feel like they're not as good on the jetpacks. Maybe I just suck with them. But the whole point is that the wrist rockets are great. That's why the clones say, watch those wrist rockets. Now, the health and ammo packs are just as broken in this game as they were in the first game, and they might be even better, as the engineer is the best class in the game. Watch my class break to see why that is. But being able to pretty much give yourself unlimited health and ammo on the field is just crazy. And being able to give your teammates some additional ammo and health, just insane. Such a good piece of equipment. I love it. The best of equipment in the game would be the Detpack, and that is because you know how to throw them, you can get tons of kills. They're good for setting up traps on heroes, spawn killing people, they can be used for vehicles, they're really good for anything. When you learn how to throw them and learn all the other tricks with them as well, man, you'll just get so good with them. You throw them so far and just, they're insane. Being on the engineer as well, oh man, definitely the best equipment in the game, guys.